All right, hello everybody. Let me get adjusted here. Why are we? Why are we so far away? I seriously hate how YouTube tells you that it's gonna look one way, and then I go live, and then it's a completely different. It's a completely different thing that it shows me. But here we are. I think so. Anyways, let me. I feel like it when it's higher. There you go. Something like that. When it's higher and I can zoom in. Let me check the live stream on this side. All right, seems to be good. Yep. So today I'm hoping to get more sanding done. So as promised in the last live stream, I finished sanding all of these with 220 grit. And now I will be sanding them into a shiny finish. I don't know how many I'll be able to get done, but I'm gonna try a few and see where we are. So these are what they're looking like. They are nice and shiny, but now we're gonna make them even more shiny. Sorry if you heard my bird in the background. So that's what we're gonna do today. Any specific request or anything, any comments, please let me know. But for the most part, this is what we're doing. Hello, DTV, how are you doing? So yeah, this is going to be a very intense process, but we can do it. It's gonna be exciting. So like we have this set up over here, and as I sand, you're gonna tell the difference between these and the ones that are gonna be extremely shiny, which is what we're doing today. This process isn't pretty, but we're gonna do our best to to make it work. Let me set myself in position for this. My bird is very talkative today. I apologize for that. So so like I said, we already did the first step of sanding that was in the last live stream. We did a 220 grit on all of these, and now we're gonna move to 400, 600. So this is 400. I'm gonna pull some of these out because I'm probably gonna use 2 to 3 depending. So 400, 600, 800, and I'm gonna grab new ones because some of these are used. 1000. I'm running out of the 1000s. 1000, 2000, 2000. Do I have 150? Oh, that's 150. Not 150, 1,500. So we have 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. And I don't know if we're going to make these extremely shiny. So we might stop by at 2,000, but I do have 3,000. However, I'm unsure if we're going to go that far. I showed you guys the bookmark that I've made that I've been using. 1,000, and I do like the finish of it. It's very rustic. You can tell that it was handmade and that it's been hand sanded. And I think that's what I want for these as well. So we'll see what we can do with what we have. But this is the sandpaper. We have to move up slowly from the ones that we have. So I'm going to pull one of each out. But I just wanted to have them out because it's really annoying once I start sanding to take them out of the tiny box because they're all sectored out. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm taking ones that are numbered or that I can see the number, because sometimes it's really hard to see the grid number. So 1,500 and then 2,000. And then I'm going to put these back here because we don't really need them. I as well will be using this, which is just basically like a piece of copper that I've put tape on, painter's tape. It just, because it's very straight, it helps with the sanding process. And it holds way better than the paper. But these pieces are bigger. I usually use this for jewelry, so we might not need it, but I have it out here. And then we will be using this, which helps once we get it to the very fine sandpaper to give the pieces a bit of a dome. So yeah, we're gonna start. I actually started live streaming pretty late. I'm gonna put a mask on. So if my voice changes, I'm going to put it on and see if my voice changes and if you can hear me. But there is going to be a lot of dust, and I don't want to inhale or breathe all of it, especially since this dust is much finer than what I've worked with the last live stream. Okay, that mask is not working. This one maybe? Nope. Do I have another one? I don't think I do. That other mask is really old. I don't want to use it. Okay, we might do this one. Okay. I hope you can hear me. I'll check the audio in a little bit. And see how it's going. Okay, there we go. Let me check the audio and see if it's okay. Hello. Okay, you can hear me pretty well, I think. I'm a little bit muffled, but again, that's because I'm wearing a mask. I need to protect myself once we're doing this part. It's just so much dust. And I will also be collecting the dust this time. So I've been putting it in this small container. So that's something that I'll be doing as well, just to have that in the back of the mind. And I can't, because I am live streaming from my phone, I can't really put any music or anything, but I have my headphones on, so I'm just gonna play some music on my headphones. But we should be good to start. If you have any questions or if you want to see any of these close up, let me know. I can pull it up for you. I forgot what I was doing. Okay. Just setting my laptop and stuff. So I am going to put gloves on because if you've seen before, it gets really dusty and I don't want to get all of the dust on my fingers. I'm not really allergic to copper or anything, and I don't have any wounds, so that's good. But it's always good to protect yourself. All right, so I think because this one is out here, we might leave it out here just to be a tester. I don't know if there's any specific ones that you would like me to start with, but I think for this round, to make it easy on myself, I'm going to start with the cat. It has a lot of surface area, just based on the face, but hi, what gauge is a copper and what are these for? So this is 20 gauge, I believe. It's 20 gauge that soft copper. And they are bookmarks. I'm making them for an artisan market that is coming up in July. But that is that. Thank you for joining. So I'm gonna start with this cat. I hope you can see. Yep. I'm gonna flip this around because I have my highest grade here. So like I said, I already sent it these ones, this in the last live stream, with 220. So I don't want there to be such a texture difference. So we are moving up to the next one, which is 400. And I do like holding it between my fingers. It just feels like I get the best surface area to do this. And I'm gonna go into the copper very lightly. And I hope this isn't too loud. Also, Dan's, this copper, I got it from I didn't get it, it was given to me, but I believe it was made by the company Rio Grande. It's a company based in the US. I think they're in like Florida or Georgia. But this is available on their website. I was actually going to order more. I think a sheet that is 12 by 6 inches is about $15 to $20. They have other gauges of copper as well on there, but this gauge works really well for jewelry and these bookmarks. I wouldn't use them sculpturally though, which is the other way in which I use copper, but for this it works really well. So I'm gonna be sanding this until I see a very specific change. So what I want to do is soften up most of the lines that were created by the 220 grit sandpaper. It's not going to be a huge change, but like, it's noticeable to you guys. But it's definitely going to be more noticeable to me since I'm looking at it. And if you would like to get closer, I can definitely get you closer. But I can see already that it's getting way shinier. And again, I'm not going to go super crazy, but I can already tell the difference between this and one of the ones over there. It has a bit more of a reflection, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going crazy. Again, this is only 400. I'm not going to see a huge change, but I will see a bit of a change. So I'm just going to continue doing this, and I'm doing it very lightly. Again, I always talk as if I'm doing a tutorial. But a lot of the time I'm like, is anybody even going to do what I'm doing? I don't know. And if this is your first time joining, well, this is my second sanding live stream, but if this is your first time joining a sanding live stream, I am sanding it this way instead of vertically, because technically I'm sanding horizontal to the piece. I'm sanding horizontally because I am sanding by hand. There's going to be a lot of imperfections, and it's a lot easier for the eye to kind of glance over those imperfections if I am sanding horizontally, because our eyes tend to go more left to right than up and down. So it's just a little bit more forgiving to do it this way, even though it's more work, because I am working in a shorter or thinner surface area. But I can see that it's already pretty shiny and that a lot of those lines are gone, so I'm going to flip it over and work on the face. And as you can see, we're getting a lot of dust from this, and it's a lot finer than before. So because I do have another cat, I'll compare them every time that I move on to the next sandpaper. So for me right now, I'm done. The only thing I'm going to do is, as I've done before, pass over the edge a little bit, because I did sand it, so it's a little bit domed. So I just want to pass this over that so all the sandpaper hits it. And again, I apologize for my bird. She's very vocal today. So this is the first pass of sandpaper. And I'm going to grab this cat here and compare them. There's really not much of a change. So this is the one that I just did. And this is the one that it only has 220 grit. Really, like, you can't tell the difference right now. It looks pretty much the same. To me, in person, I can't tell a difference. I can see that this is more gritty and this is softer. So we just gotta keep moving and you'll be able to see the change more then. And if you, again, if you guys want to look or take a closer look, let me know and I can pull you in closer. So now we're moving to 600 grit. And again, I'm putting this between my fingers and I do this very lightly. And these sandpaper, because it is softer, it has more of a grip on the copper, so I gotta hold it a little bit tighter. Sometimes when I sand, I tend to count, like I would do like 10 passes and I'm like, okay, I did 10 passes. Now I'm gonna flip it around and do 10 passes on the other side, because as you see, I'm not going all the way down. Bye, fans. I hope you have a good day. Thanks for joining for the little time that you could. All right. Again, not a huge change. I can just see the lines getting softer. And there is a stronger reflection. And I'm just going to keep going. It's really hard to see what I'm doing because like I'm taking up most of the room and space. But this is a slow process. And I'm trying to take it easy because if I go in really hard, I'll get tired really quickly and I won't be able to sand as many. So it seems like so far it's been doing pretty good. I'm gonna dust a little bit off and see if any parts need sanding more. I won't really know if any parts need more sanding than others until I get more fine. And that's where I will go back and sand it a little bit more in that area. But for now, I'm doing like around 10 passes. I think. On each side. And that is doing enough to create at least a visual change for me. And I am sanding it this way because it creates a dome on the copper, which I really like. So I just sand it this way because I like it. My finger has natural curves to them. It's almost like a cushion. So it creates that natural dome that I like. And there you go. I can notably see a difference, but I don't know if it will show up on the camera. I don't know if you can see the line. I can see it a little bit. You can see here that I've sanded. And at least from my view, this is way more reflective than this side. Like it's already, what do you call it? It's already mirroring my window sill out here. So again, we haven't done much, but change is already happening. And that's how I know that I'm doing this, that something is happening basically. So I'm gonna do again like 10 or 11 passes on this side because that's what I did on this bottom section. And this is a fairly slow process. I'm not really counting. I'm just like going until it feels right. And sometimes that is a really good indication. You don't really have to count how many passes you're doing. The face needs, or at least the edges of the border here need a little bit more. And I'm trying to swipe off all the dust with my glove. But it looks pretty similar. The one thing that I will need to remember is if I did this side. I don't think I did. It looks still very cloudy. So we're doing this side now. Even though I think it's sometimes really hard to tell because the pieces get filled with dust. It feels very soft, so I probably did good. But I'll do a few more passes just to double check. So a few areas that I just didn't get, so I'm going back in. The edges are always a little bit harder when it comes to these pieces. Yeah, I think I already sanded this side because now that I look at it, most of it looks even. But as you can see, we've produced a lot of dust and I've only been using 2 grits of sandpaper so far. All right, let me check these. Yeah, it's shiny now. It's looking good. I don't know if I need to bring you guys down more so you can see what I'm seeing. And I'm just quickly gonna do the edge. Nothing crazy. But there we are. I'm just letting it. Oh wait, we're still gonna continue with that one, but I need to get rid of some of this dust. And like I said, I'm trying to keep this dust. So that's how much dust I've gathered so far. And some of it is paper. I can see that there's some furriness from the paper itself, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'm just gonna put it in this tiny vial that I have. And this is where wearing the mask is very important because this is a lot of fine dust. All right, and I cleaned it as much as I could. There's still a bunch of dust on there, but that's okay. I can't really clean it all. Let me move you guys down a little bit so you can see more. This is always really frustrating to know like how far in. I have zoomed in with the camera, but one thing that I found is that it's really hard um, to get like a nice visual of it if I change the quality. How's that? That looks pretty good. Putting my gloves back on. And I have to take them off because literally I get dust everywhere. I need another piece of paper over here. Do I have more? Just a piece of paper to protect my desk from the pieces that I've used. Somehow I got dust over here. All right. So now we're going with, you can't see it, it's 800 grit. And literally doesn't look like it has any grit on it. But it's the one following it. And then this is where we're going to start incorporating this tiny piece to help. So I don't know if you can see what I've been seeing. There's no full reflection. You can just kind of see my shadow on here. And it's the same thing with these. And I can still see the lines. It's kind of hard for me to see. But we'll see if at some point you can start seeing the reflection of my window. That's essentially the goal, for it to be very reflective. Oh, and this is a lot, so I have to... So the less grit these have, the more I have to hold the piece for it to stand well. It's really hard to see any change happening. That's just how it is sometimes. So we're gonna go in. I won't be able to work on these bookmarks for a little bit after tomorrow. I have a commission that I have to work on. I mean, I have to confirm it, but I'm pretty sure it's happening. So I'm gonna be working that for like a week or so. You can see the change now a little bit. It's kind of hard still. But I'm gonna switch it to the other side and work on this side. And I'm gonna try and count now. So we're gonna go to 10. It was to 10 forwards and backwards. So this is 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I will hold this closer here and do the face, because since I am moving a lot and all of that, it can get lost sometimes. Now I'm gonna swipe here, make sure that I got everything, and I can, from my angle, I can see that there's some few areas that do require me to go in a little bit more. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Sometimes I am tempted to go this way just so I could get some of those spots, but it's okay, we don't need to do that. I need a bit more on this face, so There we are. This looks pretty good. And again, you're not really going to see any change until we get into the thousands. We are on 800 right now. And I'm not going for anything extremely perfect. I'm just going for the closest. Oh, this is sliding a lot because it's very soft on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, it's really hard for me to see on my camera. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops. I accidentally went that way. Even though this is very soft, those marks will show up later, so I have to make sure to get rid of that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, I'm not going to be sanding the sides like I've been doing, so this, once I've reached 800, what I will do is get my little foamy piece. Again, this has a bit of curvature to it. And this is going to help me get into those areas a little bit more. And I'm just going to do 2 passes right now. And this is a little bit louder because it's a textured surface. I might have to do this first actually because it's creating not great lines that I like. This is just a bigger piece. Let me do it on this side because the other side is like destroyed. But this is just going to help with that dome effect that I want. So I try to do a few passes here. I might not be able to do some this way because the flower specifically, that structure is kind of weak. Alright, so we finished with 800 grit. We're going to move to 1000. I can't save any of this because all of this got on it. So I might not use it. We'll see. So let's look at the difference right now. Again, I don't know if there's visibly any difference on the camera. Oh, there's actually a difference, yes. You can see that this one is slightly more reflective, the one on the closest to me. And that is only with 3 grits of paper. So it's going to get way more reflective, way more shiny. This one only has, again, I sanded it with only 220. And this one we've done 400, 600, 800. And there is already a visible difference comparing it to the other one. Now we're going to move to 1000. Can you see that? 1000. And again, same technique. I do it this way. And I'm going to do 10 passes again. So 1, oop, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is the one that has the most visible difference right now. 10. At least from what I've seen. I'm gonna give one last pass that is a bit harder. And then I'm gonna get really close to this area because it has more copper. So I want it to be a lot more cleaner. And that's that. We switch it to the other side. And I'm gonna do 10 passes on this side as well. My hand is getting a little bit tired. My left hand. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm also gonna just concentrate a little bit down here. And that's that. Passing my finger through this, I can feel the dome forming. Should be good. Real quick, I will do the sides. Just to make sure that this edge is not getting any sharper. It shouldn't be because we're now a very soft grit sandpaper. So there shouldn't be a lot of shaping going on. But it's really hard to tell. Sometimes this sandpaper is a lot stronger than you think. So now we're moving to this side. I'm do the same thing, 10 passes. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna do a few strong passes. So like 2, not a. And that should be good. Just to get rid of anything else that might have formed while sanding. Sometimes that happens. Now we're gonna do 10 again, going this way. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm gonna do one really strong pass. One closer to the face of the cat. I can see a few lines forming, but that's just some residue. Not residue, but leftover from the same paper itself. Alright, so that was 1000 grit. I don't know if you can see any extreme difference. I can see it on my end again in person. It's way more shiny. Trying to see if it will show up. On camera. I'm having a harder time making it show up on camera. It's just really bright. But we'll just keep moving until I can compare them again. The difference from 800 to 600, 1000 is pretty big. But, so now we're going for 1500. And again, we're doing 10 passes on each side. Let me stretch my wrist a little bit because my left wrist is getting tired from gripping. Like doing this is like, it gets very tiring after a little bit. So what I'm looking for, you can kind of see how like if I'm going over it, it's kind of blurry. I want that blur to be gone. It should be more of a very distinct image. There should be sharper lines. So that's what I'm going for. And we're going to see that change more with these. So I'm going to start with up here because I'm always struggling grabbing a huge chunk. And we're going to do 10 passes again. So that's 2, 3. This is already a huge change, at least for me, that I can see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can kind of see the difference between this and that. Like you can see the more clear image on the face of the cat now. Well, over here, it's still very cloudy. So this is what we're looking for. This is already extremely shiny for me. I don't know if it's coming through on camera. But we're going to continue. So it's getting more, it's getting harder to grip because it's so smooth now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is super shiny on my end. I don't know if that's coming through the camera. But it's not really looking like it. Let me get you a bit closer. I just don't think that anything that I do will help my case here. Oh, dropped my glove. Oh, you can't see anything. Never mind then. But to me, it's very noticeably shiny. I'm just gonna rotate it and work on this side. And again, it's kind of hard to see. But 10 passes on this side now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm just making sure that I'm giving all of it a pass and that all the strokes are somewhat gone. This is very reflective to me now. I'll pick it up and show you guys. Now you can more or less see my window. There you can see more details. Oop. There you go. It is now showing my window, what do you call it? Blinds. And we can bring this one in and compare. And the one on the right just is not sanded with any soft or soft sandpaper or anything, so it's really hard to see anything because it's so matte. You can tell the difference how flat this is by me passing my finger over it. You can see my reflection on the left side a lot more. So that's what we're looking for. And again, this is just 1,500 and we still have one more to go. But this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's that nice shiny reflection. And I can still see some of the sandpaper passes because I still want to keep that idea that it is sanded by hand, and that helps. So I'm not looking for it to be completely perfect, just to have a passable reflective finish. So we'll continue to the other side because it still needs it. As you can see, it's still very matte. You can't see the reflection of my window blinds. Unlike this side, where that's a lot more visible now, you can see the lines from the window blinds. I think, at least I hope it's coming through the camera. But from what I see, it should be coming through. Let me change the opacity here, maybe. After I'm done with the 2000 grit, I'm going to take a small break because my arm does tend to hurt a lot while doing this. So I do want to take a break between sanding. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is pretty shiny to me. You may not look it in the camera. And then we're going to do 10 passes on this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I can see that there's still some grit on this side, so I'm just going to go a little bit with a bit more pressure to clean those lines up. It doesn't have to be crazy, just enough that my eye likes it to look at it. And there you go. This whole piece is sanded with 1,500 grit. And I will be hitting this edge again. Just to make sure that it is softened the whole time. All right, now we're going in with the last grit of sandpaper. But as of right now, you can see more of the reflection of the glove through the piece. It's a lot more of a silhouette, it's less of a shadow. Well, over here, I have to get really close for the shadow to show up. So that we're doing a good job. So now we're going with 2,000. And again, only 10 passes. Okay, this one's good. Every time that I start with a new piece of sandpaper, I'm like, my goodness. So that's 1, 2. And this is just gonna make it way more reflective than it already was. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that should be good. Now I'm gonna flip it. This is where I see less of a difference because the piece is already pretty shiny. But I'll at least try my best to get it. What this is gonna do more than anything is get rid of those sanding marks than more polishing. I mean, the more polished it is, the less likely you're gonna see those sanding marks. So, but this is all being done by hand, which is my bird fell. Okay. I kind of lost count. I don't remember. I didn't count this time how many passes I did, but I can tell which areas need a bit more sanding. So I'm going in, sanding those areas a little bit more. And this side is done. And we're gonna go into the other side. And again, do 10 passes of the sandpaper. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the only thing that worries me is that we're an hour in and I'm almost done with this. But at the same time, I'm talking a lot. I'm showing you a lot of things. So I'm taking a lot more processing between each grid of sandpaper. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now both sides should be done, but I'm going in any area that I think needs more sanding and sanding it. Or not sanding it, but putting a little bit more pressure on that area. All right, and that was 2,000 grit. I don't think we'll go to 3,000. I don't think these pieces need it. I don't know why I took my gloves on, but we're gonna shake the piece. Make sure that all the dust falls off. And there you go. That is how shiny this is. You can see my reflection be a little bit more there than it used to be. And again, let's compare it to the other piece. Not the other piece, the other cat. So this is the previous cat. You can see that there's like nothing. It's almost like a shadowy that is on the right, but you can see more of a definition on the left. This is more matte, so that's why it looks like that. But even me moving them up and down, this is not reflecting my window blinds, and this one is, you can see each line. You can see my curtain here. And then we can do a phone check. This one is not reflecting my phone at all. And this one you can see you can see my phone a lot better. So that's what we were able to achieve by hand sanding. And this is up to 2,000 grit. I don't want it to get more shiny than this. I don't want it to be more too distracting. Well, that's kind of like what we're dealing with currently. So I'm going to take a break because my left hand is kind of crampy. So I'm going to put these over here, and we might do another one live. It's a little bit hard for me, but now I have the pieces over here right next to each other. You can just see how reflective this one is compared to the rest. And even, again, me moving my hand through it, you can see how reflective that piece is, and that's exactly what we're going for. But meanwhile, I'm going to clean this up. Again, I'm saving the dust. I got to drink some water. Being under this mask makes it hard. But it's been pretty hot here where I live recently. And doing this makes it even hotter. Hello, piece of paper. Could you please? All right. I kind of got dust everywhere. But there we are. I'm going to take a quick break, as I said, so I'm going to move stuff around. Quick, so you guys can kind of see what we're working with. And I don't know where my paper that says that I'll be right back is. Oh, it's right here. So I'll be right back. I'm taking a quick break. And, or I'm trying to think actually. It's a bit hard to show what I've been doing live. So what I might do is just record an actual video of me sanding. But at least I wanted to show, you know, the difference in how this finish comes to be. It's a little bit harder to see over here. But yeah, you can see the difference between these and the rest. So that's very interesting. Anyway, I think this is where I'm going to end it. I'm going to continue to work on this, not on live stream, because it's a little bit hard for me to do in a live stream. But I at least wanted to show you guys one, so you have an idea. And again, this is kind of like what that looks like in terms of reflection. I hope you guys enjoyed. And like I said, I don't know when's the next time I'll be live streaming. I have a commission coming up that I have to work on, and that's going to take like a week or so. So I probably won't live stream for a little bit. But for those who have been tuning in and watching, thank you so much. And feel free to comment on anything. If you have any questions or things like that, feel free to ask in the comments. I'm always happy to answer and give advice and things like that. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.